All right guys, welcome to my house. We're gonna be doing 4 awesome leg exercises to sculpt jaw-dropping glutes. That's what it's all about. If you wanna jump higher, if you wanna have nicer buns of steel, these 4 exercises are gonna help. And it's all about hip extension. That's the key with these exercises. So I'm gonna demonstrate with a kettlebell. You can do this for the most part with dumbbells of some kind, of some different weights, or even a barbell for the final exercise. But for now, I'm going to use a 16 kilogram kettlebell because that's what I could carry comfortably over to the park. And we're going to start off with the kettlebell swing. So if you've seen any of my workout videos, this is the fundamental movement, guys. If you're stranded on a deserted island, this is the exercise you would probably be doing more often than not. So that's what I'd recommend. Okay, so what we're going to do, feet are just about shoulder width apart or a little bit wider. Angle the toes out very slightly. Shoulders are back and down, core's engaged. That's your starting neutral position. Now we're going to have the kettlebell out in front of us. We're going to reach forward, keeping the back flat. Grab the kettlebell, just swing it gently through the legs. And there we go. Okay? So I'm reaching back, my back is flat, and I'm driving forward with my hips. Okay, so this is all in the glutes. Now you can go to one arm if you want, alternating, all sorts of exercises that we can do with the kettlebell. This is the basic swing, one arm swing in this case. And again, you can see this driving motion through my hips, okay? So this hip thrust, that hip extension is what develops strong glutes. All 4 of these exercises are gonna be incorporating that. Okay, so again, repetitions, as many as you want, really, as many as you can do with good form, okay? With that said, let's go to the next exercise, the one arm, one leg Romanian deadlift, or the 1 RDL. Okay, so here what we're going to do is we're going to use our kettlebell again. You can use a dumbbell if you want, or no weight. I'm going to start off with my left leg planted in front of the kettlebell. My right hand is going to grab the weight, and it's going to lower the weight at the same. I'm going to show you a cool variation of doing this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to hinge from the hips, and then come back up. Okay, so this is glute, hamstring doing the work. Shoulders back and down, core is engaged. I'm down, slight bend in the knee. Pick the kettlebell up, come back down, drop it off, come back up. So that's one way you can do that, okay? So let me demonstrate that again. Is we pick it up, we drop it off, we come up without any weight, come up again with the weight, drop off the weight. So it's alternating. So one time without the weight, one time with the weight. It challenges the load of the exercise, which is pretty interesting. The other way you can do that is just continuously up and down with the weight, and I'll demonstrate this on my other leg. The one thing I do want to mention is you'll notice that I'm wearing some barefoot running shoes here, the Vibrams. I'd highly recommend doing all of these exercises barefoot, or at least with a barefoot type of running shoe, so your feet can actually really get into the ground and do what they're supposed to do. Okay, so let me demonstrate that second component, or the second variation of this exercise. So now we're going to hold the weight the whole way through. We're going to lower just above the floor. And again, really focusing on driving up, squeezing the glute. My back is flat, my back leg is hinging with my torso in a nice straight line. All right, that is our 1 RDL. Great exercise. You'll definitely feel some soreness in the hamstrings and glutes the next day if you haven't done this before. Okay, next up, we're gonna go to the floor. And this exercise actually should be done first. So if you want to rewind the video and just put this in the front, probably better off. It's called the basic hip bridge. So on the floor, feet are about hip width apart, hands behind the head or wherever you want them. And all you're going to do here is squeeze the bum cheeks together like you're holding a $100 bill between them, raise the glutes, and back up. Now if you need support, arms out to the side for a greater balance, greater base of support across the torso. If you want just your torso or your upper shoulders, upper back, to be your base of support. Okay, so again, squeeze the glutes and down. Now if you want to make this more challenging, one leg out, drive it up and down. Up, so now I'm all focused on the right glute and up. So I could switch it up again. So now I'm focusing on my left glute exclusively. Very good exercise, very good warm-up exercise as well. And especially if you spend a lot of time sitting, like we all do, these hip flexors get very tight. This type of exercise reverses all that, okay? So that is our hip bridge. Tremendous exercise. Again, 10 to 12 reps or even more if you want. Just really good for developing tone and mobility through the hips. Okay, so we're gonna move to our final exercise, the good old deadlift. I'm gonna use a kettlebell. If you have a barbell, you can use a barbell. If you've got some dumbbells, you can use those as well. So what we're gonna do is our base, it's actually a very similar setup to the kettlebell swing. We're gonna focus on, I'm gonna lift this with both hands, okay? So you can just pretend that I have a barbell in front of me if you want. We're gonna keep the kettlebell or the weight close to the shins. We don't wanna be reaching forward here. We wanna keep the weight very close to our center, our gravity, our midline, so we're not putting extra stress on the lower back. So what we're gonna do is feet are just about hip width apart, shoulders back and down, core is engaged as always. Arms are straight, shoulders back and locked. A little bit of bend in the knees. Now there's two different types of deadlifts you can do. I'll show you both. I'll show you the traditional deadlift and then a stiff-legged deadlift. So the traditional one is where we lower down with the bum, as if we're sitting back into a chair. We grab the weight, up into standing. Lower the bum back down, and up. So this is a full kind of squat type of motion. Again, watch the hip thrust. I drive the hips forward, back is flat. That's the first variation. Now we can also do a stiff-legged deadlift if you want to focus more on the hamstrings. A little bit of bend in the knee, back is flat, and we're up. Okay, so watch the legs here. Now I'm hinging mainly through the hips. Not as much bend from the knees. Squeeze the glutes. Boom. And there we go. So again, if you're using a barbell, you might be doing heavier weights. Depends on your goals, if you're looking for strength or hypertrophy, how many reps you're after. But I just want to give you the basic mechanics. These 4 exercises, regardless of how many reps you do, are really the foundation of a strong hip and pelvis, but also really strong and beautiful glutes. Okay, so if you want to fit into those jeans a little bit nicer, if you want to get rid of that jiggle, these exercises are killer. Enjoy, and we'll see you in the next video.